Before we begin, this video discusses child sexual abuse and trafficking. All visuals you will see are AI-generated recreations from public documents. We have not used any stock footage or actual photographs out of respect for victims. Being named in these files does not equal guilt. If you need support, the RAIN hotline is available 24/7 at 1-800-656-HOPE. Let's begin. You are about to log into Jeffrey Epstein Gmail account. Not a simulation, not a recreation, his actual inbox. The email address, gvacation@gmail.com. Inside, 7,546 emails. Conversations with tech billionaires worth hundreds of billions. Former presidents of the United States, Nobel Prize-winning scientists, British royalty, and these are not stolen emails. This is not a hack. This is not WikiLeaks. This is an official release from the United States government. But here is the twist. The government tried to bury all of this under 3 million pages of unsearchable PDF files. Files so disorganized, so redacted, so technically inaccessible that they called it transparency, while making it impossible to actually find anything. Then two 23-year-old software engineers said, "Not on our watch," and they built something that would change everything. This is the story of the Epstein files, how 1,000 victims were ignored, how the powerful were protected, and how transparency went from impossible to inevitable. Before we dive into those emails, you need to understand who Jeffrey Epstein really was. He was not just a financier. He was a social engineer. His real currency was access. Access to power. Access to influence. He had properties everywhere. Manhattan, Palm Beach, New Mexico, Paris, and Little St. James Island in the Caribbean. 72 acres that locals called Epstein Island. But behind every mansion was something horrifying. A systematic operation that trafficked over 1,000 girls, some as young as 14 years old. And here is what makes this devastating. The FBI knew about Jeffrey Epstein in 1996. A woman named Maria Farmer walked into the FBI New York office with detailed allegations. She gave them names, dates, locations. The FBI took her statement, filed it away, and did nothing for 23 years. By 2006, federal prosecutors had everything. The FBI had a draft indictment ready. The charges? Conspiracy to recruit and transport minors across state lines. Life in prison. But U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta made a deal. 18 months in county jail with 12-hour daily work release. He served 13 months. But here is the truly unprecedented part. The agreement granted federal immunity not just to Epstein, but to all his potential co-conspirators. That exact phrase is in the agreement. Every assistant who recruited girls, every associate who booked travel, every enabler who knew, all of them protected by federal immunity. They could never be charged. Ever. And the victims? They were not even told. Federal prosecutors had a legal obligation to notify victims. They did not. They actively misled them, assuring them justice would be served. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, they were signing away any chance of that ever happening. The files we can access today did not come from federal prosecutors. They came from one woman who refused to be silenced. Virginia Giuffre. In 2015, she filed a defamation lawsuit against Ghislaine Maxwell. Maxwell had called her allegations obvious lies. That lawsuit triggered discovery. Thousands of pages emerged. Emails between Epstein and Maxwell, flight logs, deposition transcripts, but judges sealed most of it. Then in 2018, reporter Julie Brown published Perversion of Justice in the Miami Herald. It went viral. The Herald petitioned court to unseal. The Second Circuit ruled for transparency in 2019 and 2025. But Virginia never saw the final unsealing. On April 25, 2025, Virginia Giuffre died by suicide. She was 41. Her family said the unbearable weight of trauma had become too much. Her memoir, Nobody's Girl, was published 6 months later. It detailed everything. How Maxwell groomed her at Mar-a-Lago, how Epstein threatened her brother, how she was loaned to powerful men. Her attorney said, without Virginia courage, these files would still be sealed. She gave everything for this transparency, literally everything. While courts unsealed civil documents, federal files remained locked in DOJ vaults. Flight logs, FBI notes, grand jury transcripts. On November 18, 2025, Congress passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act. The vote? 427-1 in the House. Unanimous in Senate. This was universal demand for accountability. The act gave DOJ 30 days to release everything. The deadline arrived December 19th. The DOJ released less than 1%. Heavily redacted PDFs. Pages completely blacked out. Lawmakers erupted. The DOJ claimed it needed 500 lawyers to review everything. Critics called it a stall tactic. 6 weeks later, the floodgates opened. January 30, 2026. Over 3 million pages, 2,000 videos, 180,000 images, but there was a problem. The files were dumped onto a basic government website with minimal search functionality. Scanned PDFs with bad OCR. Duplicate files. Inconsistent redactions. It was technically public, but practically unusable. This is where two 23-year-old software engineers changed everything. Riley Walls and Luke Eigel saw what everyone saw. A massive transparency win rendered meaningless by terrible user experience. In November 2025, after House Oversight released 20,000 pages of estate emails, they built jmail.world. The concept was simple. Take those unsearchable PDFs and map them onto a Gmail interface. Make Epstein inbox browsable. Make it searchable. Make it actually transparent. They used OCR to extract text from blurry scans, mapped emails to his actual Gmail account, organized by date, recipient, subject line. Included an AI called Gemini to search handwritten notes and images. The site now contains over 7,500 emails, and they built an entire J Suite. J Photos for image gallery, JF Lights for flight logs, J Drive for court documents, Jamazon for shopping history. The DOJ claimed searching handwritten notes was technically impossible. Jmail proved them wrong in weeks. They used standard AI tools available to anyone. This was not about technical impossibility. It was about will. Critical disclaimer. Being named in documents does not equal criminal activity. Many had legitimate connections before crimes were public. No new charges have been filed. In December 2025, House Oversight released explosive emails. Epstein to Maxwell, 2011. I want you to realize that dog that has not barked is Trump. Victim spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Epstein to Michael Wolff, 2019. Trump knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. Wolff to Epstein, 2015. If he says he has not been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you valuable PR and political currency. The broader network shows 601 emails mentioning Elon Musk. Communications about island visits in 2012 to 2013. Musk publicly stated he declined. Bill Gates' communications about philanthropic ventures continuing after 2008 conviction. Gates expressed regret. Noam Chomsky scheduled meetings documented. Steve Bannon, hundreds of texts, 2018 to 2019 discussing reputation management. Most emails are mundane. Flight plans, property renovations, meeting schedules. That is what makes them chilling. This systematic abuse was embedded in routine operations. Assistants knew, pilots knew, staff knew. Even with 3 million pages released, the government failed survivors catastrophically. In February 2026, victim attorneys discovered the DOJ had published unredacted survivor names, birth dates, and nude photographs of women who were minors when images were taken. Over 3,000 pages had to be removed and re-redacted. Annie Farmer, an Epstein survivor, told NPR, "There is just no explanation for how it could have been done so poorly. They have had victims' names for a very long time." In July 2025, the DOJ released a memo claiming no formal client list existed after searching 300 gigabytes of data. They found no evidence of systematic blackmail. Critics argue this misses the point. The list is not a single document. It is distributed across thousands of flight logs, email chains, and victim testimonies. Jmail makes that clear. You can see the network yourself. Files are not organized chronologically. The same PowerPoint appeared 6 times with different redactions. Duplicate files everywhere. No index, no context. The DOJ essentially dumped raw evidence and called it transparency. So what do we actually know? We know the FBI had credible reports in 1996 and did nothing for over a decade. We know federal prosecutors had enough evidence in 2007 to put Epstein away for life, but chose a deal that protected his accomplices. We know over 1,000 survivors exist. Only 2 people have been prosecuted: Epstein and Maxwell. We know Epstein maintained relationships with political leaders, tech billionaires, and financial titans, many of which continued after his 2008 conviction. What we do not know: who else participated? Who else facilitated? Who else knew and said nothing? In January 2026, Deputy AG Todd Blanche declared, "We complied with the statute. The review is over. No new charges are expected." For survivors, this is not closure, it is abandonment. Why Gmail matters. 2 engineers in their 20s accomplished what the DOJ claimed was technically impossible. They made transparency real. They proved that government excuses about searchability were just that: excuses. Legal reforms already happening. Federal efforts to ban global immunity clauses in sex crime cases. Expansion of Crime Victims' Rights Act to prevent secret plea deals. Congressional oversight into FBI failures. But reform is not justice. Not when over 1,000 survivors watch the system fail them again. The links are in the description. Gmail.world. Search the emails yourself. Type in Bill Gates. Type in flight logs. See what the government tried to bury under 3 million pages of PDFs. This is what actual transparency looks like. Visit the DOJ Epstein Library. Epstein. Read the House Oversight Committee documents. The Gmail team is funding this out of pocket. Server costs are mounting. If you value this work, they accept donations to keep the site running. This is what citizen-powered transparency looks like. 2 engineers with laptops did what federal agencies with billions of dollars would not. Virginia Giuffre fought for over a decade. She sacrificed her privacy, her safety, ultimately her life. The files exist because she refused to be silenced. That is worth remembering. If this video helped you understand what really happened, hit like and subscribe. Share it. The more people who understand how this system failed, the harder it becomes for it to fail again. For survivor support, call RAIN National Sexual Assault Hotline 1-800-656-HOPE. Available 24/7. Confidential. Free. Thanks for watching. Stay informed. Demand accountability. And remember, transparency is not a PDF dump. It is Gmail. This is Ramus Narrations.